News Channel 5 Network. This is MorningLine with Nick Beres.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. Nick Beres here with you on a Monday. This is a live program, live and direct, coming to you. Hope you had a good holiday weekend through Thanksgiving and the like. We had a few days off, and now we're back here with this live show. Still, we're in the middle of the holidays, leading up to, the Christmas season, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and the like. And it's a time of year, too. I always say you should be aware of these types of things year-round, but a time of year where you give thought to charitable giving and the like. And so we like to do various programs about organizations out there that make a difference in people's lives, and that's what it's going to be about today, especially with regard to our veterans, who certainly deserve an awful lot of consideration, not just this time of year, but all year round. The number 737-7587. As we go along, you'll, as always, be invited to join in the conversation. But we're going to talk about a group called We Are Building Lives. I'm going to tell you about how that group organization helps veterans. And we don't just have the executive director who's with us this morning, Jeff Upton, but you were good enough, Jeff, to bring with you someone who's currently part of the Academy House program. I think someone in the program, Avery Powell, who's a veteran. Good morning to you, Avery.
Good morning,
sir. Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate it. This is a wonderful program. I think we do these shows for a variety of reasons, to raise awareness among viewers that maybe want to support and maybe give to these causes or become involved. Also, you may be watching and realize there's a veteran out there who could benefit from this, or a family. Take note and pass this information along. And you're like, Nick, okay, what's it all about? I've not heard, I'm not familiar with We Are Building Lives. So that's where you start with us, Jeff. Give them a thumbnail sketch of your organization. You've been around for about 16 years, and what you do.
We have been around for 16 years and working on our 17th year. And we actually started with a group of out of a men's Bible study out in Franklin, okay, and a group of businessmen that just decided that they wanted to help. And so that was kind of the genesis of things all those years ago. But we specialize in two different areas. We house veterans that are completely homeless, and then we call that our Academy House, our Academy program. And then we have what we call Project Advance. And Project Advance just means we're getting out in front of a veteran or their family that may be becoming or facing homelessness, whether if it's a job loss, sickness, illness, whatever it may be. So if you contact us and you've been honorably discharged, we get a copy of your DD-214 from the VA, then we'll help assist with utilities, mortgage, rent, whatever we can to help keep that family stabilized, keep a roof over their head. It's just our way to give back to the men and women that have served us. We've been doing this again, 16 plus years, and it's something that we're looking forward to continue.
Yeah, you're obviously a nonprofit. You say you do this through primarily just private fundraising, right?
We do private fundraising throughout the year. We have one coming up in February, another one in March, where we're having just some fun things. We're going to be doing a bowling fundraiser. We're going to do a pickleball fundraiser out in Franklin.
Popular, yeah.
And then we're going to have a golf fundraiser, but our big one is in September. That's out in Franklin. It's always around that September 11th period of time. But it's all fundraising. We get some grants from Baptist Healing Trust, the Community Foundation, folks like that. But it's also really our corporate sponsors that are really big for us as well. Some local sponsors like Kirkland's is just huge for us.
It's awesome. Kirkland, very involved, and it's a wonderful company. So yeah, that's great. Just before we get to Avery, give me an idea, in the 16 years and maybe up to now currently, how many veterans and their families have you served?
We have currently served well over 1,000.
Over 1,000?
Yeah. We average, with our Academy House, we average about 20 plus veterans a year. Okay. And through Project Advance, we help keep somewhere, it ranges, different from year to year, but we keep anywhere between 55 to 75 veterans and their families housed.
At any given time?
At any given time. Okay. We service 11 counties here in Middle Tennessee.
11 counties in Middle Tennessee. That is awesome. All right, so Avery, you're one of those who have received. Do you mind sharing a little bit of your background, your situation, how you ended up with We Are Building Lives?
Yes, sir. I served in the United States Air Force for 5 years. COVID hit, and I picked up some habits, started drinking. And I did get out, but me and my wife went through some hard times, and her brother got sick, so we moved to Chattanooga. Well, she moved to Chattanooga. I stayed back in Valdosta, Georgia with my dad to help him, and I just couldn't shake my habits. And so I came here because I heard that it's a better VA. And my wife told me, go to RRTP. I did RRTP, and then while I was there, Mr. Marty, he referred me to We Are Building Lives. And since I've been there, I've only been there about 3 weeks now, and it's changed my life. Like, I can really say, for my third program, I'm really serious about changing my life. And Jeff, Mr. Jeff have helped me, and just with job opportunities, getting back on my feet. I have a 1-year-old son. My wife came up, I was able to leave. Even though I was on probation, I was able to go spend some time with my family. So the program is helping me, and there's a lot of vets out there that are homeless. I know I have some friends back home in Valdosta, Georgia, who are struggling with their issues as well. And I recommended them, I told them, but it's a great program.
And so right now you are in the housing?
Yes, sir.
So at some point, because of these issues, you were dealing with not having shelter?
Yes, I was homeless. I was at the Salvation Army. I was sleeping on the streets, and me and my wife, like, we sold the house. I was almost divorced, My marriage was on the line, and my wife has just said she can see the change. She's actually tuned in.
Oh, good. Tell her good morning.
Good morning, baby.
Good that she's watching. She can call in if she'd like, and she could. So, and dealing with the issues of substance abuse or drinking, how have you gotten past that? You're still dealing with that every day? Have you been sober for a period of time now?
Yes, I've been sober 60 days now.
Congratulations.
I just keep one day at a time.
Yeah.
Miss Heather told me that before I left my rehab, and just working every day, getting up. They had me on a system to where I clean churches, we clean the Elks Lodge, and just get back in that rhythm of having priorities and having responsibilities has helped me stay on track. And I'll be in a room just watching Netflix. I'm just grateful to have a roof over my head and food on my stomach.
For sure. And what was it? I've done shows on this before where I've talked to veterans, and maybe you can share your experience or what you see with others. What is it that made it difficult once you get out of service to maybe reintegrate back into society as it is? And what is it that pushed you in one direction and then brought you back?
I would say the lifestyle. I never was an alcoholic, so I just picked up that habit.
Is it because you go from where it's very structured in the military to maybe all of a sudden not as much? And
I just, with COVID and stuff, I was at home, man.
Yeah, right.
And I just was like boredom, and I picked up the habit, and I was active duty, and it was like, Powell, we noticed you've been drinking. Have you been drinking last night before you coming into work? And they said, look, we tried to help you. So they, they gave me an honorable discharge, but they said, get yourself help, get help. And so I kept drinking, my dad was going through a lot, and I just never just got situated back into society. I just was kind of kicking myself in the butt because I got out before I wanted to get out, and I finally just made up the decision to get help. And after I got a rehab, my issue was that I didn't have a place to transition to, and that's where We Are Building Lives comes in. Like, you could transition there, they're gonna help you get back on your feet, because a lot of guys got a rehab and then you go right back to the streets, versus going into a situation of housing where they're gonna make sure you work, make sure you pay your bills, make sure you handle it like you can, make that clean transition.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's different, but what he describes there, I've heard before. That same type of thing. Now, not everyone succeeds the first time. I'm sure he's along here because it sounds like you're doing very well. Congratulations, being a father and all. But I mean, is that in your mind, again, as I say, every story is a bit different, but what he describes in general is what seems like the veterans face. It's just hard transitioning.
Right. One of the things that really, helped set Avery apart is that Avery has bottomed out. Okay. And he's ready.
So he knew, it's like, I got to do this now.
He's in his early 30s. He's got a 1-year-old. He's ready to step up and really make that change. And we're just so happy that God and circumstances brought us together with him, because as Avery and I were talking about this morning, one of the things that we want to do for our veterans, male or female, whatever, we want to treat them with the dignity and the respect that they deserve. Our Academy House is just, you would never realize what it is from the streets. It just sits in a quiet community, so they're not stuck up in a high-rise MDHA building
like in the
somewhere.
neighborhood. Is that in the Nashville area?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so, yeah, you would never know. And they integrate in, and they're good neighbors, like any, what's the typical length of stay for an individual?
Our stays will range anywhere from 90 days up to a year and a half.
Okay, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
We need to take a break on that note, but I want to get into it. There's so much more to talk about, including the drug and alcohol counseling maybe that you help, which I'm guessing you've gone through, maybe you are still dealing with. But we'll take a break. When we come back, if some of you have questions or comments or a story to tell about a veteran that's dealing with a situation, you're welcome to join us. If not, you can sit back and listen more about We Are Building Lives, and that's exactly what they're doing, are rebuilding them back up so they get on the right path right after this. Stay with us.